right, let's go ahead and clear our history here. So to create an activity scope, we first need a new annotation. So we only get the singleton annotation out of the box. Any other custom scope annotations we need to add ourselves. So let's create a package called DI that'll hold all of our dependency injection specific stuff, and create a new class called activity scope. So this is an annotation or at interface. And what we need to do is mark it with scope. This tells the Dagger compiler that this annotation is a scope. We also need to add a runtime retention, so that means that this annotation will be retained in the final APK. And that's all that's needed for this class. Now, let's make a home package. I personally like to keep the root package clear and move all classes in their relevant packages from there. So we're going to move main activity to home. And then we will go ahead and create a main activity component. So if you remember, components are interfaces. This one's going to be slightly different. It's going to have activity scope as the scope, and it's going to be a subcomponent. So it will be built on top of our application component. There are two ways you can go about this. I prefer the subcomponent route. I'll have links for the other way, but as far as this course goes, we're going to be using subcomponents. And now this will also extend Android injector for main activity. And we will see why that's important in a minute. And the last thing we need in here is a subcomponent builder class. And so these are almost always empty. For this case, it'll just be abstract. We can just say abstract class builder, and it will extend the Android injector.builder, again with main activity. Since that will be the injected class, that's what these type parameters are for. And now to see why this builder method is important, we will go back to our base package and create an activity binding module. And this is a module, and it's composed of subcomponents. Now in the case of our app, which is going to be a single activity application, there's only going to be one subcomponent in here and one method, which we'll see soon. But the subcomponent we need is the main activity component. And then we need to provide a method that will provide an injector for this activity, for the main activity. And to do that, we're going to use binds. So with binds, we can just define an abstract method, and it will take the argument of that method and return it as the type of the method. So it's just kind of a little shorthand. And this is going to go into a map. And that map is going to have a key of our class literal. And then we define our type as an Android injector factory. And we'll just call it provide main activity injector. And then we reference that builder that we created in the component as our argument. If this is confusing you, don't be scared. We're going to go into exactly what this is doing when we use this provided value, which is coming up. So please bear with me. Everything will be explained. For now, we're going to stop there. And in the next lesson, we're going to create an injector class that is going to use this map that we're creating in Dagger and allow us to inject our activities in a base class. So it's a nice way to save a little time, make things a little more automatic, and we'll look at that next. See you then.